Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Friday edition of the JP Peterson Show. Man, it's been a busy 24 hours.
Good Lord, right?
Wow, Timmy. Yeah. There's a lot
I'm getting dragged into this, JP.
Hey, we're twinning today. We're twinning today. Yeah, we are. Art. So now they're texting you, huh? They're dragging you into this thing.
They are.
Oh yeah, man. I'm riddled with machine gun fire over the last 24 hours.
Man.
Social media machine gun fire. I love it. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. I'm here for it. So it's all good. We all can have our opinions, and we respect your opinion. Absolutely 100%. I'm still looking for some arguments that make sense against this, and I can't find any. So if you have any and would like to bring them to the show, you could put them in the comments right here, and we'll shoot them down one by one. Is that what we want to do? So, yeah, we'll get into – sorry. I don't know why I should be apologizing for stadium talk, because it absolutely – I mean, am I fatigued? Yes, I'm horribly fatigued by all of it. Absolutely. But I also understand that that's all people are talking about in Tampa Bay. It is, it's the biggest story in the history of our sports, to be quite honest, because it's not only about sports, it's about the biggest expenditure in public investment history. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but there's a lot to be had in this whole deal. And I think, again, education of the public is what's at stake here. And we're still fighting that. We're still absolutely fighting that. But there's a lot that went on at the county commission meeting yesterday. I was there. Ken Babby was there. I was passing notes from other people to Ken Babby. I felt like I was back in middle school. It's exactly what happened. By the way, you're frozen with a very perplexing look on your face. There you are. No, I like the frozen part better. So it was kind of interesting and funny all in one thing. And Joshua Wostall was damning everyone's soul for supporting this. I guess all his fellow commissioners that are supporting it, they're damning their souls as well. Didn't know he had that power, but yeah. Hey, God. Anyway, I saw him walking down the after the meeting. He was walking out, and I was going to go up and talk to him, but I was like, this
too much work.
I can't lead to anything good. I don't know. No, I would have liked to have. I don't have any animosity towards him or anyone who doesn't believe in this. I just like to have, thoughtful, intelligent debates, because my mind is open, and I understand this is a huge expenditure, but I also understand how it works, and. So we'll get into the stadium stuff. The Rays sweep the White Sox in dramatic fashion. We'll get into that. The Lightning will play Les Habitants at 5:45 on Sunday afternoon. There we go. So, I was looking through my Lightning hats the other day, and I don't have any good ones. They're all of them are like dilapidated. I got to go get some
this
Lightning
one
hats. Yeah, that's a nice one. Like
Amazon.
I had that one.
$11.99 on Amazon.
Really? Oh,
for a 47 cap, yeah.
Wow, $11.99.
$11.99 is what I paid for. I mean, it's been some time ago. I don't know how much they are now, but I got them on sale.
Yeah, I have a strict limit on hats unless I'm at the Masters. $25 is the most I'm gonna pay for a cap. So,
by the way, this cap, JP,
$40. Get out of here with that.
This cap I bought during the 1993 Stanley Cup playoff run. That's how long I've had this hat.
Wow, last time they won.
Last time they won, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that is a long time. Yeah, gum.
And it's not the oldest hat that I still have in my rotation either.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so we'll get into that. A lot of Rays talk on the field we want to get into. We'll set up the Lightning. We'll even talk a little Bucks, some residue from the Jason Light non-presser on Wednesday. We can talk a little bit about that. And whatever else you guys want to bring to the table, please do. We don't have any guests today, so I obviously have a lot to cover from the community investment tax throwdown yesterday at the commission meeting. So we'll jump right into that. So get to the commission meeting. It's not even a full house. Not all the seats were taken, but it was pretty full. And the first folks that spoke were the guys from AECOM, which is basically, or AECOM, however you want to say it. They are the clearinghouse for doing these financial projections on huge real estate deals. And, and I hear all the time from people like, oh, those projections are just bullshit. They have no idea. And I'm like, well, listening to this gentleman talk yesterday and understanding their methodology, there's a lot that goes into it. It's gazillions of dollars of AI research into real estate models. And, these things have been done before, and they've been done many times before. So you can look at the scope of the project. You can look at the real estate values. You can look at the cost of things. You can look at the cost of ticket sales. There's so much minutia that they put into this that I would suggest to you that their projections are pretty good. And there's a lot of work that goes into it. To just say, oh, that's pie in the sky and it doesn't mean anything. Well, if you're having a debate with someone and you have what I would call very credible information and it doesn't work for your part of the argument, and you just go, well, that stuff's bullshit. Well, then, then I could say, well, everything that's coming out of your mouth is bullshit. And then where are we? I mean, how do we get to, how do we plan for the future? Nobody has a crystal ball, but these are the best estimates that you can get. These are companies that are multi-billion-dollar companies whose research matters in these huge, huge deals. And real estate companies use them all the time. Banks use them all the time to finance things. So to just throw them away like they're just, some guy just got on a PowerPoint, threw it into AI and said, here's the deal is silly. So anyone who does that in their argument, I see it all the time on, oh, those projections are bullshit. Well, I mean, where do we go from there? Where do we go from there? And then you make your argument about how much it's costing us with ignoring all the benefits. And that's just dumb. And it's unintelligent. It's moronic, and don't do that. I mean, if you want to have a conversation about, if you just hate the raise and hate spending tax money and hate giving money to billionaires, all that stuff, I mean, where do we go with that? I mean, okay, that's your opinion. Bye-bye. Go clutch your pearls and,
Do you know what this reminds me of at this point? These conversations, I don't mean the conversations on the show, obviously, because you're spouting useful knowledge, but the conversations on social media that now I've been dragged into, that this is not going to happen. It just reminds me of people who will like to argue the moon landing, if it's fake or if the earth is flat.
Right.
I mean, it's no different at this point. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah. So, right. I mean, what do you do with that? So we're going to try to stay into the realm of reality here. And when you build things, you tax them and the tax money comes back to the people. So what AECOM said was, in their estimations over the 30-year life of the stadium, the tax revenue that will come back to the taxpayers is around $2.8 billion. Now, there were two other studies done that were way higher than that, but let's just accept the lowest one, and that would be the AECOM one at $2.8 billion. And Joshua Wostall, the commissioner who's against it, dug into the methodology and said, did you get these answers from the Rays, these answers from the Rays? Did you get enough? And he basically said, we feel confident in our numbers. We would have liked more answers, absolutely, but we feel confident in our projections. We got what we need. And a lot of times, the Rays don't have these answers because the bottom line is this development is very much in the planning stage. And it is far from all the blueprints being done and built out and all those things. And typically that's the way this process happens. And those things, there's more of those answers will hopefully be available in the coming weeks as everything negotiates. And another overarching theme to this particular meeting is that, and Hagan said this, is that the memo of understanding that the Rays put out last week, the real deal will look dramatically different. Now, does that mean the Rays are, quote, lying? No, it's part of the process. This is another buzzword I hear all the time, is the Rays have lied. Okay, what have they lied about? Have things changed? Yes, they have. But doesn't mean that they were lying. It's like, this is what the first draft was. It changed. Does that mean they lied? No, it means it's been negotiated. So somebody said, oh, the Rays are lying now. What are they lying about? People are saying they're lying, but I don't see any specific examples. It's like, the buzzword that went out yesterday was Rays give county commissioners ultimatum. We read the Ken Babby letter here the other day, and I don't see that as an ultimatum. It's just common sense. What he said is, if this deal, as we have put it out there, the framework of this deal, which obviously they're still negotiating and have negotiated on, it's going to change, and that's part of it. It already has changed. I heard somebody say yesterday that, the Rays want everything their way and they're not negotiating. It's the stupidest shit in the world. They've already gone from 50% to 58%. So how are you saying that the Rays won't negotiate on anything? Another blatant lie that's out there in the sphere. They are negotiating, and they're picking up more dollars as they go. And as of yesterday's county commission meeting, when you totaled everything up, the county's goal, they were $75 million short. And someone asked, would the Rays pick that up? And Ken Babby was there. He wasn't speaking, but of course they will. Yes, they're not going to they're going to let this deal go for $75 million. No, of course they're going to pick that up. I mean, and everyone knows that. So this ultimatum thing is, he said, look, if it doesn't go through right now at this particular time, we have to look for alternatives. Didn't say we're moving or we're looking at other places. He said we're looking for alternatives. What's the opposite of that? We're just going to sit on our hands. Well, of course they're going to look for alternatives. Is that an ultimatum? I don't think so. I mean, but it is common sense. If we can't get this deal done in this particular manner, they're going to look for alternatives. Would that mean other places? It might. It might mean, I don't think they're ever going back to St. Pete, but because that ship has sailed on so many levels. They're already developing that property, and MLB has told St. Pete we're never going to build a stadium there. So that's just not going to happen. But other alternatives, is it other sites in Hillsborough County? It might be. But in terms of a timeline and funding from the state, I can tell you this, that if this deal doesn't go through and they have to go back to the drawing board, anything's on the table. And they have, as businessmen, they have, if there are other communities throwing billions and billions of dollars at you, and you can't get it done, with what you have here, well, then of course they have to look at that. That's a reality. Now, if you want to take that as an ultimatum, which I think in the context is a very negative word, I think you have an agenda and you're trying to defeat this project. I would refute that characterization. I would refute the characterization that the Rays have lied about stuff. Have they changed their ask? Yeah, well, yeah, they put in more money. Yes, they lied. They said they were only going to put in the X, and they put in more. You're right, they lied. My bad. I just see it as an evolving process. I don't see it as lying. And as far as the CIT goes, the original ask for the Rays for the CIT was almost $600 million. Okay, that has now come down to $287 million as they go to other sources for funding. So even in the strictest quote interpretation of, the commissioners talked about no new stadiums when they put out the CIT tax. Yes, that was a discussion, but it wasn't put in the bill. It wasn't put in the language. And when you don't put it, it's like when you go into court and you say to the judge, yeah, we talked about this before we wrote the contract. He says, is it in the contract? And you say, no. Well, then it doesn't matter. As simple as that. And I'm sitting next to Christopher Palermo, attorney. He's like, voter intent? No, that's a long stretch. Judges aren't going to listen to that. It's like, what's in the bill? Oh, public facilities? Is this a public facility? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, you can use it. And again, if you go to voter intent, we vote for a sits tax. Everybody knows that Raymond James Stadium was built with the sits tax. In fact, my mentor, Chris Thomas, used to call the stadium the sits. So anybody who knows about the sits tax knows that it built a stadium. And if you voted for it, like I did and many others, I said it on this show, could it be used for the Rays? Yeah, absolutely it can. And even in their strictest sense, where they said it could not be used for new stadiums, but infrastructure, well, $287 million probably won't even cover infrastructure. Well, I don't know. But so as far as the CIT tax goes, that's a dead issue. It's going to be used. It can be used. And we move on. If you think that's what they were lying about, well, actually the Rays didn't lie about that. You could say some of the commissioners lied about that. But regardless, I think it's a moot point, and it's done anyway. So those were some of the key points. And even the most pessimistic and agenda-driven commentator John Romano from the Times actually penned the article today that it said it's far from a done deal, but this Rays stadium might just survive. Even he thinks it's going to work. By the way, you're frozen again, Tim. So
what is happening?
I don't know, but you're freezing. So I mean, if Romano thinks it's going to happen, for God's sakes, the King of Darkness thinks it's going to happen, then I think it's probably going to happen. And that was my. Very nice. See, we just need a Joshua Wostall emoji.
Right.
And as you play that was very nice. So, yes, have mercy on all of our souls for supporting this deal that's going to bring $150 million of state funding to rebuild Hillsborough College right now when they don't have the money to fix the elevators. $2.8 billion coming back to the taxpayers for a $1 billion investment, keeping the Rays, about 10,000 high-paying jobs that will be housed in that area, bars, restaurants, immersive activities, concert venue, all these things that are going to be public benefit, by the way, all public benefit. And, it's a deal, as I've said many times, that 10 other cities would line up for. A couple other things. I thought the commissioners were very diligent, all of them, not just Wostall, all of them were very diligent in their protecting of the taxpayers. As Ken Hagan has said for forever coming on this show, we're not going to burden the local taxpayers to pay for this stadium without getting what we see as quality return. And yes, the sales tax, once again, the sales tax is a half a penny that you spend on every dollar. Okay, that's the CIT money that was meant for projects like this, and everything that was promised in the CIT, the fire stations, the traffic things, all those projects, the schools, all those things are protected. None of that money is going to the Rays. The money that the Rays are seeking is the money that is they in their projections, they projected 3% growth, and it's up to a 4 or more. And so that extra money that's collected is the money that the Rays are looking at. Everything else that and the money that has not been allocated yet. There's a lot of the $3.5 billion of the SITs over the next 15 years. That's right, $3.5 billion of the SITs that hasn't been allocated yet. So that's a lot of the money that they're looking at, and other sources as well. So when you put it all together after yesterday, I've never been more optimistic that this is going to pass. There's still a long way to go, and there's a lot of back and forth that needs to be done, and numbers that need to be squared up, and I's dotted, T's crossed, all that stuff. But in the end, I think, just like John Romano, it's going to pass. And as I mentioned, the political people I've spoken to over the past week will all believe that the votes are there. When you start to count the politics and the votes, that the votes are there. There are some no's, obviously, but there are more yeses than no's. And as I've told you from the very beginning, this group has great political ties. That gets things done. And yes, in terms of the timeliness of this, DeSantis is leaving office. And when he leaves office, if they have to go back to the state for next year's funding for Hillsborough College and all those things, there's no assurances that they're going to get it. In fact, the political climate, they may not. So in every sense of the word, you may not like it, but the reality is if they don't pass this, and this is not an ultimatum, this is just reality. Timing is important here. And if they don't pass it in this form, there's so many moving parts to this. As I mentioned, the college, all these things are all set up to get it done now. And if it's not done now, I don't know when if it ever gets done. So in a very real way, if the Rays do not get this vote does not go their way, and again, they're going to negotiate it and throw in more money, do more things than to get this deal done. They are going to move. They're not intransigent. They are going to negotiate. They'll give up more concessions. They'll do things to get it done in a true public-private partnership. And if it doesn't, the Rays could be gone. And many of you may not care if they leave, but I do. And I don't think it would be good for the city long term. There's so many benefits in this package.
JP, I will talk to my friends over the city of Arlington. If for some reason the stadium thing fails out in Tampa, we'll just give you one of our old ones. No, it's probably not going to have a roof on it, but just consider it a gift, okay? It's a gift.
We'll take it. But it just goes to show you building these things is not that hard as we're making it here in Tampa. It's really not, And I've also heard the objection that it's hard for Hillsborough to house all three of these teams. Well, don't forget, Hillsborough County and the city are not paying for all of these stadiums. Now, they did pay for all of Raymond James Stadium, and that was one of the greatest investments they've ever made. People still bitch about it, but they're completely ignorant as to what we've gotten out of it. Nobody ever talks about the benefit. Oh, we paid for that stadium. Well, yeah, you paid 90 million, and look at all the benefits you got. It's a great deal. Same thing for Benchmark. You got Water Street, which we made $1.2 billion in tax revenue back on a $100 million investment. If you do it right and you protect the taxpayers, these private-public partnerships can work great, and they do all the time, not only for sports stadiums, for Amazon and other big projects. They can really bring a lot of money and jobs and positive economic growth into your community, and that's exactly what this is. And again, I'm open to all objections, but I think the arguments we heard yesterday overcome almost everything. So there's that. Let's get to some comments on this so we can have a little dialogue here this morning. I know we don't do this usually, but we'll get to them this morning. Alex Nunn says, morning, gentlemen. Big Rays win for the sweep in the ninth inning. JP, what's your take on stadium news? Sounds like a mess, and the Rays are short on dollars. Nope, not at all. Disagree, Alex. But I understand you guys are reading a lot of the negative media. I was there at the commission meeting, and it's funny when I read some of these other stories. I'm like, were you even at the same meeting I was at? Because that's not what happened at all. So I get it. But that's not the way I see it. I think I answered most of those questions. But by the way, how about Caminero? Top of the ninth, down a run, and that swing, man. It's like Big O says, that follow through, the way he's so fun to watch. And then the excitement and the emotion for tying the game. Then they get 2 bases loaded walks. I mean, how the hell you walk Fiducia with the bases loaded? The dude can't hit water if he falls out of a boat, and you walked him with the bases loaded. I mean, throw it underhand if you have to. He's probably not going to hit it. I mean, no disrespect, but that was pretty disrespectful. But he's not a very good hitter. How the hell you walk that guy? So they walk in 2 runs. They win 5-3. Like, okay, they're winning in a lot of different ways. Yeah. And by the way, we talked about this on the Big O show, and this is becoming a kind of a hot take. But the Rays are making use of small ball in a brilliant way. And as we talked about yesterday and the previous day, it seems like nobody in the big leagues knows how to defend small ball anymore. You watch these pitchers coming off the mound, against the White Sox, throw the spike in the ball into the ground, 2-run score. They're having a really hard time defending small ball because with analytics, it's kind of gone out of the window. I don't even know if teams practice this stuff. Infield in, first and third. How are we going to play the certain situations? Like we used to practice all the time in Little League because that small ball worked really well because you put so much pressure on the defense and force them to make tough plays. And as fast as the Rays are, it puts even more pressure on you. And Taylor Walls has used the bunt to tremendous. They've won probably 3 games this year already with bunts in the late innings against the Yankees. We saw it against the White Sox. We've seen it all year long. And Chandler Simpson, I'm told, lays down 40 bunts in practice every single day and has worked on it all throughout the off season. Oh, Kevin Kiermaier, what could you have done had you done that? Yeah, I mean, it's really, really working. You got to zig when others are zagging, and this is the new way, Ray's way. Like, hey, let's play small ball. And then if you need a pop every now and then, they're getting it over the last couple of days with Caminero and Fraley, DeLuca. So, yeah.
This lineup, whatever its form takes from game. Can you at least hear me?
I hear you. Yeah.
This lineup, whatever form Kevin Cash throws out there at any given day, any given game, seems to be working. And that's, to me, I'm highly impressed with what they're accomplishing, because they're winning both ways. Well, I say both ways, small ball and with the home run from time to time,
Yeah.
So I know it's early, but it's encouraging, right? Like, it's got to be encouraging.
Danny Boy says, barring any unforeseen circumstances, this stadium deal is going to get done. I did see the piece in the TBBJ this morning by Emma Bierman and Ashley Grubel-Kritzer. I did not see that piece. I'm tired of reading all the negativity, but I will go back and read it in the break and see if there's anything there. JS813 guy says the new ballpark is a big deal. Need to stay on top of that story to fight all this misinformation. Yeah, we're doing our best. And trust me, folks, it is not a labor of love. I can tell you that right now. I do want what's best for this community, but it's a pain in the ass fighting all this misinformation. And I just wonder, why? I think it's political. I totally think it's political. Anti-Ron DeSantis, anti-conservatives, because that's what this group is, as opposed to the last group, the penny pinching group that didn't want to build anything and definitely lied to the public all the freaking time. Andre all day says, since the 0-2 start, the Red Hot Tampa Bay Rays are 11-5. Positive news to hang your hat on. Yeah, absolutely. Airweed says, I can't with these idiots on social media anymore. They have no clue what return on investment is. I'm ashamed I voted for Joshua and will not vote for him next time. He has become an idiot. What's funny is during the commission meeting, he came up with this funding source of $731 million. And what it is the tourist tax, a portion of the tourist tax that they're using. And I guess they're not extrapolating it out for over 30 years. I don't know the exact specifics of it, but it's not a upfront payment to the Rays. Now, you could use that money for a bond, I would think, and purchase a bond to get the money up front and then use that money to pay it back. Of course, there'll be interest involved in that. That's the same thing they did in Cobb County, and they got so much money back early on that they're going to pay off the bonds way earlier than they thought of. So the interest cost comes way, way down. And that's another additional funding sources. And there was actually a list of about 10 funding sources, Timmy, that they have not tapped into that they're going to look at. So again, those are very positive things. And I think a lot of people think the Rays come with a sheet and say, this is what we want. This is what we're going to do, blah, 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 blah. And then, no, it's not how it works with something this big. It's a total negotiation on every part. And you're looking at so many different sources of funding, and you want funding that is going to be palatable to the taxpayers, that is less onerous on the local taxpayers. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're looking at. Much more tourist and user fees. Danny Boy says, basically, Hagan said that they need to continue to work on any remaining deal points in-house and resolve any outstanding issues before the May 6th County Commission meeting. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not going to look like it looks right now. Yes, they are, Andre, all day. The Red Hot Rays are in first place. Alex Nunn says, really sounds like Rays are short on dollars and don't have proper funding. However, seems like there are other sources of funding the Rays can tap into. Yes, absolutely. It's not that the Rays are short on funding. It's just what makes the deal work. Okay. Like every business plan has, a budget, right? Like this is what we need to put in here so we can have money to run the team, so we can have money to do to build out the rest of the build out, which brings us in more revenue, which we can put back into the team. It's not like Zalupski's writing an $8 billion check. That's not how it works. All this has to be financed and then paid over time. And that's what they're trying to work out right now. And it's complicated, especially when you're dealing with this many sources. Douglas Batista says, JP, thanks for your coverage on the stadium and being there yesterday. Do you see Wolstall's tweet on the $731 million alternative funding sources? Do you know what he's talking about? Yeah, just what we talked about right there. I'll be honest with you. I don't know the inner workings of it, but he did ask staff if his numbers were right, and they said yes. So boom, there's another funding source that comes from the tourists. So as I've always said, I think a rental car tax would just put this thing over the top and we'd just be done with it.
And that's how other cities do it. I mean, there's the template's already there.
And, I think DeSantis is obviously thinking he can get it done another way. And if it comes down to it, I think because he's been the impediment for the rental car tax. He doesn't want, I guess that affects more tourism. One of the major hub airports, it's more money coming. We're soaking the tourists more, but I don't care about that. I'm not exactly sure what his issue is. I just think it's kind of a anti-tax mentality. And he wants to come up with existing stuff and just take from that because he feels like there's probably enough money there. And he's probably right. He's probably right. Let's see what else we got here. Good morning, fellas. Alejandro says, what a win yesterday with the Rays, and Junior is going to be an all-star again this year. Junior tying the game at the top of the ninth with his 4th home run is amazing. Sweep Chicago. Yeah, that was awesome. Danny Boy says WFLA just posted that local leaders are getting a closer look at negotiations for a new Rays stadium as questions grow over how a multi-billion-dollar deal would be funded. Yeah, I spoke with was it Meredith? Oh, darn, I forgot her name. She is a reporter at Channel 8. I did an interview with her yesterday, and I really enjoyed speaking with her and kind of explaining to her how this thing has worked over 20 years. I think she's kind of new here, and she really understands it. And we did an interview with them. I don't know if they used it. I wasn't watching Channel 8 last night, but hopefully they did. Ray Kennedy says, I want to debate JP Hillsborough or Pinellas, bro. Ray, that ship has sailed, bro. It's not happening in Pinellas. It is a failed location. You guys are awesome in every other way. You're just not good at baseball stadiums. Hell, a football stadium would be better. You want that? Alex Nunn says the gentleman who was hired for these projections literally admitted they made a mistake, saying the revenue in return is way less. Seems like they are making errors in a big development like this. No, what he said was it did make a mistake in double counting something in there, and they went back and fixed it. But once they went back and fixed it, it was still $2.8 billion. Well, it went from $6 billion in some of the other studies and a higher number maybe in their study to $2.8 billion in the final. So there was a mistake. They went back and corrected it, but the final number was $2.8 billion. And by the way, if you build 8 million square feet of taxable property, and it is taxable property, people are saying, oh, well, it's on government land, it's not taxable. No, in the way the lease is going to be worked out, all of this is taxable property. So that is built, everything that's built. Now, Hillsborough College will not be. The stadium will not be. That's not going to be property taxes for the stadium. But all the other 7.6 million square feet is taxable.
And what is taxed, JP? Revenue.
Revenue. That's money coming back for the billion you put out.
Yes.
And somebody else told me what was the $2.8 billion coming back. Is that going to the taxpayers or the government? Well, it's tax money going in from the government and then coming back to the government. Now, what they do with that tax money is up to your government. What they said yesterday is they will put it back into the general fund for use in operating these firehouses and all these other things that they're building, which is, and they did mention, we need more revenue. I think it was Cohen who said this. We need more revenue coming in to support and pay for the operation of our firehouses, of the police, of all this stuff. So we're looking for deals. We're looking for ways to increase revenue coming in. And this is obviously the biggest deal they'll ever find in order to get revenue coming in. As I said yesterday, to get $2.8 billion to create that out of thin air right now without this, you know what they would be looking for? Different developments, big time things coming into the area that will build more things to give them more property tax. Well, here it is on a silver platter. So there you go. So everybody who's saying, I don't want to give tax money and why should we give it to them? Because you're getting more back. Golly. Danny says they were considering, as UJP, that the county and the Florida piece is considering a mix of funding options, including tourist development tax, community redevelopment funds, and the SITs. Yeah, it's all that. There's multiple different funding sources, and they're looking for ones that are going to be very neutral to Hillsborough County taxpayers. JSA13 says Zalupski is a real estate guy. I trust his judgment on this a lot more than Wostall, as is, and don't forget, Ken Babby has built stadiums and done stuff in the minor leagues as well and marketed them. So, and Cosgrove owns a mortgage company and knows about financing big projects like this. Yeah, it's a dream team of owners. And there's a lot of minority owners that Dan Doyle, Fred Ridley, Mike Murphy, all these guys that are highly successful businessmen. They know what the hell they're doing. Danny says they also want a legal expert to weigh in here when voters approve the CIT. How did they think the money would be spent? Again, even asking about voter intent, even they're going to do that. They're going to study that. But that's a reach at best. If you're going to get sued over voter intent, that's going to be a very, very hard. And you could sue a ham sandwich, right? But or indict a ham sandwich, I guess they say. You can sue for anything. So, yeah, you don't stop projects because you might get sued, because you probably will, especially with something like this. I expect it, but you do your due diligence with your legal opinions and you move forward. All right. I think we've hopefully covered most of this. I'll go through some more, and if there's new questions, I'll look them up. All right. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll talk about sports. How's that, Timmy?
I'm in. About sports? Let's do it. We got hockey playoffs, JP.
We got hockey playoffs coming up. We will preview the Lightning and Les Habitants. Tim will wear the hat of Les Habitants, and I will wear the hat of FanStream Sports, but the Lightning. And we will debate on what the hell is going to happen here with Les Habitants. We are brought to you by the great folks at Pitch Roofing. They'll give you a special price if you mention the JP Peterson Show. You get a discount. How about that? PitchRoofing.com is where you need to go. Hey, even if you don't have damage right now, and you just maybe, hey, when do I need to replace my roof? They'll come out for free and tell you, and they'll educate you on the whole process of what you need to know. So when you go into the process, you don't have people knocking on your door and all that crazy stuff, because they'll rip you off. And listen, if you were to get damage from a storm in the next hurricane season, I would suggest that you meet with the folks at Pitch Roofing, because then you'll have your roofer already in mind. You will have vetted them already, and you'll know they are a trusted source, and you'll have a relationship to them. So when everybody's knocking on their door to get their roof done, you'll already be in line. I think it's a great idea. PitchRoofing.com is the way you go. Tell them JP sent you. Back in 3. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Cost less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. It's Diamond Days at the Golden Diamond Source. Celebrate April's birthstone, which is diamonds, as they take center stage. Up to 20% off the diamond jewelry throughout the month of April. And don't forget, you could trade in your broken or old jewelry towards something new and beautiful. Gold prices are at a record high. Now is the best time. And by the way, they only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source. It's real love. It should be real natural diamonds. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Really, really bad idea. And for the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyers, they are going to teach you all about the 4 C's and all the different shapes and styles. They are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And by the way, you can trust them. They've been in business for over 40 years. Don't buy something online. You have no idea what you're getting. 0% financing for up to 5 years. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at goldendiamond.com. Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Riveters. Riveters, great place to watch Lightning hockey and all the playoffs. Obviously, they will have the audio up and all the great specials going on at Riveters. And for Rays games as well, you can always get $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, and all the great food at Riveters. They're giving away swag during the games. They're one of the watch party partners. So get on over to Riveters, Tampa. It is on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium, right next to the spaceship. It's Riveters, the best sports bar in Tampa Bay. For my money, the best wings by far. Oh, wow. Diana Rossini resigns from the Athletic over photos with Patriot coach Mike Vrabel. Did you know this?
Oh, yeah, that's old news.
Did she resign?
Yeah. She posted a whole thing on social media. Did you not see it?
I did not. Yeah, that's too bad.
It's not. So I think we're fine.
We'll survive.
I think we'll be fine. Although I will tell you this, I wasn't going to mention this, but now I'm going to.
Okay.
A very good friend of mine has now lost her job because of this.
What?
How
does she lose her job because of this?
Female. So she's a friend. I'm not going to mention her name. She's a friend of mine. I've known back from my Fan Nation and Sports Illustrated days. And she basically responded to Diana's post, and just told her how despicable what she did was, and how it basically puts a black eye on all female reporters, and which I agree 100% with. It's 100% irresponsible, and not just female reporters. I think it gives a bad name to a lot of most reporters, as far as integrity and journalistic integrity and all that. And she was currently employed by a digital media outlet and covered a lot of NFL, college, and Atlanta Falcons football, and has been dismissed by that digital media outlet now because of her comments, which were 100% accurate. And it's a travesty.
Why would they dismiss her for that? Especially
as
her female speaking out.
And basically, so this person that I know, kind of called out Diana Rossini, saying, we all know this has been going on for a long time, and you finally got caught. As a matter of fact, this person I know had an opportunity to intern with Diana Rossini back in the day and declined it because she knew about all of this way back then. She said, I don't want to be associated with that, and called all of it out. And the news organization she's with said her comments do not reflect our journalistic standards, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what journalistic standards? USA Today. There, I said it.
There.
But anyway, so yeah. There's
USA Today, that works. Well, it's odd that the USA Today would not allow a female to speak her mind in that way. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. All right, let's get into the Lightning as they take on Les Habitants, 5:45 on Sunday. That works just perfect in preserving my Mike Allstott Celebrity Classic weekend activities. By the way, the great family foundation that is Mike Allstott's family foundation has done so many good works in this community, giving away so much money to some great charities. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on in the show, as I look forward to another great weekend with Mike and all his buddies. It's always one of the highlights of the entire sports calendar for me. So we get to see some old Buccaneers and really kind of, it's kind of a reunion of the 2002 Super Bowl team. It's just always a lot of fun. Anyway, so we got hockey coming up this weekend. And, the more and more I look at this particular series, Timmy, you break it down. Clearly, the goalie matchup is definitely in the corner of the Lightning by far. It's one of the most important things in playoffs, as we all know. Marty's working with three goalies that he's been rotating most of the years. And there's no question that John Cooper won't have to spend 1 second of his preparation time trying to figure out which goalie he's going to start. Right? Not 1 second. We know it's going to be, and we know he's going to be dominant because that's what he does in the playoffs, and that's his track record. And he is healthy. He has been as good as I've seen him. I think without Vasi, we may have lost every single game over the last couple of weeks. And so I think from a goaltending standpoint, now I'm also saying that Dobesh has been very good against the Lightning the last couple of times he's played, but playing in a 7-game series, getting to know a goalie, scouting him out, it's a whole different deal. And I think, as far as the odds makers go, 79% to 21%, according to the Athletic odds makers, the Lightning will win this.
Not sure I disagree with that either, JP.
So most likely in 5 games. I think it's going to be 6. I think the Lightning win in 6. I think they split the first 2. And then the Lightning will have a chance to clinch in game 6 and they'll get it done. Even though that game will be in Montreal, could be 5. They could get it done at 5, but I just think I think it's a 6-game series. I think Montreal is very talented. They've got some very physical players, but when you look at Suzuki and Caulfield, they're small guys. Hudson, small guy. You got to lean on them, and the Lightning, they're going to lean on them. They're going to the echo of the whistle. a little bit of shot here, a little bit of shot here, and you just lean on them. I've seen teams do this to the Lightning time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning are, this is a group that, as we've seen over the, they like to fight. It's not as many fights because we don't want to get too many penalty kill situations. But I think they know exactly what they need to do. I think the shutdown line that now includes Nick Paul, maybe he'll have a little bit more of a scoring touch. Then you combine them with Gergensons and Yanni Gourde. I think they could be a really, really good shutdown line going up against Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, who kind of hurt the Lightning as well. So I like in the Lightning, I think we're third in the league in defense this year in goals allowed. So, and Montreal, I think they're down in the 20s. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll be, and the Lightning have to be careful here, because if they get caught in a very up and down game with the speed of Montreal, they're looking to go. They are looking to go. And if we get caught up in that, I think Montreal can tilt the ice. And so the Lightning are going to have to be very good in their execution, and especially in their forecheck and keeping it in the Montreal zone. The more time that we can stand in their zone and keep them from getting out on the rush and the odd man rush. If you see that starting to happen for Montreal, and this has been a bit of a problem for the Lightning as of late. Their defensive coverage has not been as good as it was in the 21-1 run in the middle of the season. Where if I have one hesitation, Timmy, it's the fact that this is, they started poorly, got on a bit of a run, then started playing really, really well in the middle 2-3 months of the season. Took that long run. Then the Olympic break came, and they've been kind of iffy afterwards. But, again, the regular season could be such a freaking grind. And for teams that have been to the playoffs 9 consecutive years, and it's only the Lightning and the Avalanche that have done that, they know the deal. It's about the playoffs. And it's hard to get up for every single game when you know what's coming. And they know what's coming. And they know their intensity level that's going to be needed because they've done it. And I don't think Montreal they don't know what it's like to win a series, this group. They went to the playoffs last year, but they got beaten 5 by Washington, a more experienced group.
Yep.
So I think everything lines up for the Lightning to win it. Now, do I have a little bit of trepidation because of the way they played? Yes, I do. I'd like to see some much better defensive responsibility. But again, that goes to intensity, and I think they're going to flip that switch. What say ye about Les Habitants?
So I agree with all of your analyses. You mentioned the 3 goalie rotation. Look, Jacob Fowler's not playing in the playoffs. All right. He played in 17 games this year. He's not going to be in the mix in the playoffs. It's going to be Montembeault and Dobish. It's going to be Dobish the most of the way. He had 29 wins this year. He's good. 278 goals against average. For me, this series, and look, these two teams, I don't think they could be more similar from a season standpoint. Same number of points. They were both leading the division at some point before Buffalo kind of took over late. But to me, this comes down to 3 things: line depth, coaching, and goaltending. And right now, Tampa Bay leads all 3 of those.
Yeah.
I think the Lightning are much deeper. Montreal, that Suzuki, Caulfield, Hudson, that's all you got, man. Suzuki and Caulfield that's your offense.
Yeah. You shut them down, they're going to have a hard time scoring.
And like you said, they're little, and you can shut them down if you just don't let them dictate the pace of any game, right? And you can do that with your physicality. You can out-physical Montreal pretty easily. And you know what? I don't know that coaching will counter that. I don't know. I don't think it will. Coop out coaches. Jesus Christ. I had too much Jaeger this morning.
Martin
St. Louis. Thank you.
Yes.
And the line depth of Tampa Bay is far greater than that of Montreal. And if all that's the case, now you need to overcome those deficiencies if you're Montreal with goaltending. And I don't know that you could do that.
Yeah.
Any goaltender can get hot in the playoffs, clearly. So we don't know. But if you're just looking at what happened during the regular season, advantage Tampa Bay in just about every box you want to check.
Here's what the numbers say from The Athletic. And these are the analytics numbers that we talk about, the Corsi shooting percentage, all those things. From an offensive standpoint, the Lightning come up with the plus 46 number. The offensive rating for the Canadians is plus 14 in this matchup. Defensive rating plus 40 for the Lightning, one of the better teams in goals against. Defensive rating for Montreal plus 7. Net rating plus 86 for the Canadians plus 21. So you look deeper into the numbers, scoring chances, all those things. That's a huge disparity. It's a huge disparity.
Right.
But it's hockey, and it's anything can happen. So we'll see. And this is from The Athletic, and I think this is when you talk about 5-on-5 and where the Lightning need to be or have been better this year than they were in the past. It says differences at 5-on-5 add some separation as well. The Lightning are 4th in the league with a 54.4% XG rate. That ranks top 5 in both expected goal creation and suppression, along with scoring rate. Tampa Bay's goals against average is only 7th best in the league, though that's mostly the result of Jonas Johansson's starts. So, those numbers factor in as well. The Canadians, on the other hand, are a bottom 10 team in XG rate this year and sit below the break even. Team defense has a lot to do with that, and it's only become more pronounced since the Olympic break. Improved goaltending has helped cover that up. The fact that this team does a lot with a little offensively. The Canadians convert on a high rate of their chances. A strong forecheck plus some dynamic puck moving help support that. So the bottom line is don't let them get in an up and down race in the ice. And I think the Lightning can control that, especially with John Cooper matchups. Really, really good. Yeah. So I wouldn't freak out if Montreal gets a split here. What I've seen, especially from Cooper, is as series go on, he masters the matchups and the Lightning get better and they execute better. And I think that'll be the case in this series. So
yeah, and go. I don't know if maybe our confidence in Vasilevsky is a little misplaced. He didn't even get to 40 wins this year, JP. What's he even doing on the ice?
I still think that we may have had something to do with him getting sat down on Wednesday.
I mean, everyone listens.
Bradley came on the show and I just talked to Vassy. He wants to play and get 40 wins. And we were all like, is that a good idea? Just takes one knucklehead, from the Rangers to land on his knee and the whole playoffs go to shit. So I think we figured that out. Coop came in and went, wait, what? No.
He said what?
He said what? No, that's not happening. So I'm excited. I was looking at, it had a list of ticket, what they're charging for tickets in every series. And the Lightning's lowest ticket, I think, was $101 at the lower end of the league, maybe more towards the middle. The highest price is certainly not even close to somewhere where some of these other places are charging.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about the NHL playoffs, man. Some good matchups, Philly and Pittsburgh. Woo! That should be fun. And and I think the Lightning can go deep. I'm ready. I'm ready for a deep run.
I'll be at Stars Wild game 1 tomorrow afternoon here in Dallas. That's going to be an incredibly entertaining series.
Minnesota's really good. They're really good. Quinn Hughes and a boy. I like that team. That's going to be a really good series.
And anytime the Stars and the Wild get together, there's the throwback to the Stars used to play there, and then you have the fans up there that still hate the Stars for moving and Norm Green for moving the team, the old owner, and you get all the signs. It's still here, we're 25 years later, 22 years later, I guess, 32 years later. And it's just like, let it go, Minnesota. You got your replacement team, but dude, they are still pissed off about that. That's always a narrative in this when they played against each other. So
really,
it's weird. Yeah,
interesting.
Those Minnesotans are weird, don't you know?
Yeah.
By the way, JP, are you going to be able to attend and work the Lightning games after you being so hungover from the Peso Pluma concert?
And friends, don't forget about Double P.
Double P and Friends.
Dynastia by Peso Pluma and
Pee-pee.
Friends.
Going to the Pee-pee concert.
It's an interesting picture, isn't it?
I can't tell if it's a man or a woman, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just thought I'd
Peso
share that.
Pluma. Yeah. One of my faves. Yeah, I'll be there, front row.
I'm sure
The
you
double
will.
P.
Better have some video to prove it.
I will not be there. I'll be playing in the Mike Allstott Family Foundation world famous cornhole tournament. With the lovely
we need video
Ashley.
of that too.
Yeah.
I might want video of that more.
Yeah.
So do y'all play normal cornhole or do you play crotch cornhole?
Dare I say? What is crotch? Do I even know what crotch cornhole? What is that?
Crotch cornhole is one of the challenges on our Wheel of Misfortune for me and Colby, where you literally lay underneath the cornhole with the hole over your crotch, and you're shooting them like baskets. And when it goes in the hole, it lands right on your crotch. And you'd be surprised what a good aim you can be laying on your back.
No, I've never done that.
Shocking enough. You never played crotch cornhole?
No.
All right.
Are you throwing it into the
opposing hole on the other? Yeah.
And you're laying under yours?
Yeah. You're laying on your back.
All right.
So you're throwing it this way, throwing it forward.
All the way to the other side?
Yeah. I mean, we're only like 15. We're not the normal, 26 feet that it's supposed to be.
Okay. All right.
But, we're like 15 feet apart or whatever.
Yeah, and I can imagine if you get a little bit of arc on that, it could hurt.
That's the point.
Interesting.
It's deadly.
Yeah. Oh, all right. No. So, but I will.
That's not part of the charity.
No. The redneck Yoder boys always win the cornhole because I think they practice a lot. So we'll see. We'll see if we can upend them this year. Like zero chance of that happening. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with your comments. Do a little Buck stuff as well. Does Jason Light really think this is a Super Bowl team? Does he really think it's a Super Bowl team? I don't know. But we will do that and your comments when we come back. Talk a little bit more Rays on the field with Chandler Simpson as we get ready for a big matchup with the Pirates. The Pirates this weekend. We are brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. And as always, the month of April, they're giving away money within the community. Every time you buy a car, there's portions of the proceeds that go to something worthy in our community. And they've done so many great things in the community. They've only been here, I think, less than a year, this new Genesis of Tampa dealership, and they are making deals. And I had a phenomenal experience as I got my GV70 2023, absolutely in perfect, pristine condition, absolutely like new, but I got a great price on it. So to be able to drive this kind of luxury and technology and comfort for the price is really unheard of. And so go look at some of the pre-owned cars at Genesis of Tampa. They've got some great deals on the new cars as well that offer great value. The technology and luxury is absolutely unmatched at Genesis of Tampa. Tell them JP sent you. Back in 3. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, well, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks. The Gold and Diamond Source, April, first known as Diamonds. The name, 20% off all diamonds, a great selection that they have there. So if you're thinking about popping a question, it's a good time because think about 20% off at $5,000. That's significant. That's significant. So you could save a lot of money. And of course, if you have any old gold jewelry or stuff that you don't wear, diamonds, whatever, bring it in. They will give you the top dollar for it. You can do some shopping there, give you even more of a discount. So, and if you do buy a diamond there and a real diamond, don't get a fake diamond to start your relationship. Can you imagine, like, honey, really? Don't do that. Only real diamonds sold at the Gold and Diamond Source. And you can get a $5,000 diamond for $83 a month, 0% interest. So many good things going on at the Gold and Diamond Source. Go buy yourself something shiny this weekend. A pre-owned Rolex you could get there, all that stuff is there for you at the Gold and Diamond Source.
JP, I met a young lady last night who might be diamond worthy, at least fake diamond worthy.
Really?
Yeah.
Was her name Tiffany with an I?
Can't remember her name.
Oh, that's a problem.
She looked like Katy Perry, though, like hot Katy Perry, not robot Katy Perry.
Ooh.
That was my pickup line. I was like, so I just called her Katy all night. I don't even know.
You look like hot Katy Perry, not robot Katy Perry?
Yeah, like the old, like SNL Katy Perry in the polka dot dress. Okay, that's.
I went to a Katy Perry concert.
Did you? I kind of like some of her stuff. I'm not.
It was good. It was very entertaining. It's pop. It is what it is, right?
Sure.
We're not going to see, the greatest rock and rollers of all time, but it was fun. She was very energetic. Yeah. It's a great show. It's a catchy music. She looked good. It was a good show.
I got to remember her name though. A JS813 guy, yes, she is worthy of a second date at Applebee's. Absolutely.
Wow, that's high praise.
I just got to figure out what her name is, though.
Yeah. So there's not much Bucks news coming out, but we were at the Jason Light press conference the other day, and I played that question I asked him about this. Do you feel like this team is one draft away from being a Super Bowl contender? And his answer, he kind of hemmed and hawed. Not a lot of eye contact. It just wasn't the most confident answer, and he started off basically saying, this draft is important. The next draft is important. It doesn't give you a feel of a guy that was as confident as they were last year, for instance. And I get that. And the second half collapse will do that to you. It brings up a lot of question marks on this team. That some can be solved with drafting the right people. So as we've said, the picture is not complete for this upcoming season. I'm not, as many of you know, I'm not thrilled about the free agency. Did they fill in some holes? Yes, they did. Are these players that are game-changing players? No, they are not. They're average, maybe to above average. Will it change the size and the attitude of the defense? I think there's a chance for that to happen. Absolutely. Some of the guys they've added, and maybe some guys they will add. They're going to get J.J. Roberts back, who was an undrafted free agent last year that impressed. They're going to get David Walker back. But none of these, it's not like adding a Trey Hendrickson. It's not like adding a Devin Lloyd. It's not like adding a premier player that has proven it in this league. But it has potential. It certainly has potential and should be talked about. So I think a lot of when I look at this Buccaneers team, and obviously this draft is huge, if you can come away with the Jacob Rodriguez and an Akeem Mesidor, and all of these players are not, they're not perfect. They all have warts. I mean, will I look at this team differently? Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's room here for optimism. Absolutely there is. And I'm here for it. I'm not going to be as optimistic as I was last year. And I was wrong. I predicted 11, 12 wins. They were on their way to that until the second half collapse. And we can all argue over what that was about. Baker being injured, predictable defense more than anything. Bucky being injured. The offensive line never really coming together. The two, I think the biggest letdown last year was, yes, the defense was terrible at times, couldn't hold leads. That would be number one. And then number two would be the offensive line. The interior of that offensive line was dreadful with the two guards. They were terrible. And with Bredesen back and Mock back, and I think the center will be better because he's got two guards next to him.
They signed Schooley again, didn't they?
Yeah, they re-signed Schooley, but he's a rotational guy, which is not
right. He's a depth piece.
They thought they were getting a better one in Heck than it was a fail.
They did. Yep.
Letting Schooley and Hainsey get away, both of them, I think was a mistake, especially Hainsey.
Hainsey hurts, man.
Yeah, because he could play center guard and tackle.
And look what he did up in Jacksonville. Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, if their offensive line can stay healthy, that's the biggest thing. If those guys can stay intact for an entire year, they're going to win games, and certainly enough games to win this division. And I think that's the number one key. Now, what can you do on defense? And, will Todd actually listen to maybe some of his coaches and other people and outside people that say, hey, we need to maybe simplify a lot of this stuff and just let the guys go play? Probably not. But we can have hope. Will he become a better game manager? Probably not, but we can hope. We can hope. So there's my analysis. And, pre-draft analysis, we, as you guys know, we don't do a lot of, diving deep into a lot of them. I'd rather do that after they pick the players.
Yeah.
Because there's 150 guys that are going to be on their board. We could talk about, 100 guys, 150 guys, and they're only going to select 7 of them. So we'll wait till after they get picked, and then we'll dive in on who they got. And if every one of them is going to be a future Pro Bowler, obviously, after you draft them. But we'll dig into it and see what they got. Coach Strong's going to come in next week. We'll give him some assignments on some players that we think are going to be on the board for the Bucs and who they should draft. But I think there's going to be a lot of good edge rushers there at 15. And if they pass on one for a tight end or, whether it be Sadiq or a defensive tackle, would not be a bad play either. I'm not here for a tight end. I would love to have Sadiq, but listen, this defense is dreadful at times. And I think the only way to overcome it is to do what we did in 2021. And that's, it's nice to have Brady, obviously, but that defense was badass. And there was a lot of talent on that defense, a lot of talent. So, I mean, you can overcome in coaching with a shit ton of talent. So let's go load up and see what they can do on the defensive side. I'm here for it. All right. So Ray's on the field. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I got a quick stadium question for you, but Buck Stadium questions. Not to get back into stadium talk, but so I've seen all these reports that, of course, the Bucks have met with the city about potential Raymond James renovations. Obviously, you've talked about that. Renovations that could exceed $1 billion. Something I hadn't thought of. There are two things I hadn't thought of. Number one, as I saw this report from Rick Stroud, says that their chances of getting another Super Bowl are pretty slim without the renovations. Is the stadium have you heard that? I haven't heard that. Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is it just because of the competition? Not because the stadium's degraded so much, but just because of what's out there, right?
It's just not big enough. Even to add the bleachers for Super Bowl, you barely crack 70,000. And when you're talking about the AT&Ts of the world, or I don't know what Allegiant Stadium is in Vegas. I don't know how much that holds. But it is
like 60.
Yeah, I don't think it's huge, right?
No.
But I think it's about the climate, and it's maybe the climate control is. I don't think they really want it left to the elements unless it's in even Miami has a cover, right? All the other Super Bowl stadiums, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I guess not San Francisco, but usually the weather's pretty good in California, so you can count on it. So I think it's too small. And they need to do something in terms of climate control to get it up to standard.
Allegiant seats 65, SoFi seats 70.
Yeah. And so,
but clearly they're newer than 1998. So,
yeah.
The other thing I hadn't postulated here is that are they going to have to go play in Orlando for a year while this gets done? Because that was in the article.
I don't know, because we don't know what the Bucks want. I mean, Hagan even said that at the meeting yesterday. He kind of, took a, I don't know if take a shot is part of it, but he was frustrated with the fact that, he's voiced that on this show. Because we've been talking, we've been asking the Bucks for 5 years. For 5 years, what you going to do? What are you thinking? No response. And then 3 weeks before the vote, here they come. I don't know. That would just seem weird to me. I don't know why the Bucks did that, waited on it. It just, if they were really, this is one of the reasons that when I read the tea leaves, I think maybe they're going to sell the stadium, because if you're not all in on a new renovation and what it's going to be and what it's going to look like, and have you been thinking about it for 5 years, and you'd have your plan together and it would be out there and ready to go. Within 9 months left until the lease is up, and they can extend it for 5 years. And that's probably what they're going to do. But if they were, thinking of some major $2-3 billion renovation that, maybe you're building a new stadium or whatever, you'd think that plan would be well developed by now. And it's not.
Yeah.
At least if it's developed, they certainly aren't telling us. And if they, why wouldn't they? With all that's going on with the Rays right next door, why would they not be, if they were, hey, we need more money, be knocking on the door? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Why aren't they, they had their first meeting, no numbers were given. It's, the old same cliche answers were given in interviews where, we know how important the Bucks are, and they are certainly a priority, and we're going to do everything we can to make the deal work. The only thing we've heard is that it's $1 billion. And I think what Ken Hagan has said, we've set aside, I don't know if he said it, but $500 million is the number. Okay. That's, And people might be saying, "Wait, we're giving $1 billion." Look, the county's not giving $1 billion. County's giving $750 million. A lot of that is tourist tax. The only SITS money that's coming out right now, the number's at $287 million. It may go down to $220 million of the SITS that's going to go to the Rays. And again, yesterday, Hagan said that the money allocated for the Yankees, the Lightning, the Bucks is not part of the discussion that we're having here. Again, it's $3.5 billion projected, that's with below growth of what's happening now. If we have the growth that we've had over the last few years, then there's going to be closer to 20 billion, or not 20 billion, 20% more. So 4 billion, a little over 4 billion over the 15 years. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of freaking money. And the Rays are asking right now for 287 of that. So the Lightning, I believe got 285. And the Yankees, I think, got 16. So it's, that money is set aside and it's there. But that's based on, a 50-50 split of giving the Bucks $1 billion. And again, this is just for the stadium. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's not for, you don't get ancillary tax revenue from 8 million square feet that you're building like the Rays are doing. Totally different deal. Totally different deal. All right, so we're essentially going to give the Bucks $500 million for the economic impact that's coming back, not for the tax revenue, because all that money is going to go into renovating the stadium. Do we make direct tax revenue from the stadium? Some, but certainly not enough to pay that back. So that's just saying we want to keep you here for the economic impact. So here's the money. You're important to us. We made Hagan mentioned yesterday, the county made $1.8 million in tax revenues from the Taylor Swift concerts. So if you're wondering how tax money comes back because of these stadiums, there's a perfect example. This BTS group that is selling out 3 nights at Raymond James Stadium, whatever the hell BTS is, I don't know. That's going to create more than the 1.8 million. They said that's going to be way more than what Taylor Swift brought in. So yes, these investments into stadiums does bring back direct money into the tax pool. In terms of the Rays overall project, $2.8 billion. In addition to all the ancillary halo effect money, that doesn't count the money that is going to be so all the 800 acres of Drew Park around the stadium. Now, will some of those dilapidated lots that nobody's doing anything on because it's in a bad neighborhood, will those suddenly be developed? Yes, they will. Absolutely, they will. And that will create more value and more tax money. So that's the indirect tax revenue that's going to come in. So you're getting $2.8 billion just from the stuff on that property. The other 800 acres around it, if that has a halo effect, and it has in Atlanta and other places, you're going to be making even more revenue. That's why the economic impact is important. And that, you can argue it. It's either 55 billion or 75 billion, depending on what study you read. ACOM, the people that the TSA contracted to do it, said 75 billion. I mean, $1 billion invested for 75 billion in economic impact, freaking no-brainer. So yeah.
Yep. I was just curious. I hadn't heard some of that stuff. Recently,
the Bucks deal, again, we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, again, explain to me why, as the lease ends, the Buccaneers really have no public plan for what they're going to build or what they're going to do.
Why would they be so, and I don't even want to say secretive, but just not very proactive?
That's their way. That is their way. They're very secretive about what they do. That's always been their way.
But with something like this, like, it's counterproductive, I would think, to be secretive.
Well, if you're going to be asking for public money, I mean, it would certainly behoove the county to have known and be able to come to the taxpayers and say, hey, we're spending this for the Rays, we're spending this for the Bucks, and this is what we think we're going to get back.
Right.
Because, but with the Bucks, we have no idea. Now, there was leaked out last year that they plan on doing a mixed-use deal, and that would probably be located in Lot 14, which is land that they own, not the land that they lease from in the parking lot. You look at the parking lots on either side of Raymond James Stadium. They could build something there, obviously, but they wouldn't own that land. So if they want to own it and get all the revenue from it and everything, then But still, whatever they build there will be taxed. There will be property tax, and that will come back to the city and the county. So, but we don't know what it is. We have no idea. And at this late date, it's just odd that they haven't done it, which is one of the more reasons I think that maybe they might be thinking of selling, because, why would you not have those plans all put together and ready to go?
Yeah,
and have a public ask.
Almost sounds like they're, like you said, maybe wanting to dump the team and let that be somebody else's problem.
Yeah. And you look at how they haven't spent over the last couple of years in terms of free agency.
Yeah.
If I were getting ready to sell a team, I wouldn't be entering into long-term contracts with free agents like we didn't do this season or last season. Now they are keeping their own players and redoing their deals, yes. And I don't necessarily see this as a negative. If they want to sell, they could sell, because they could. Bezos is looking for a team. Yeah. Would you like him to own your NFL football team? Hell, he could build Amazon Stadium right there with his own money. Come on.
Amazon Stadium.
Yeah.
Would it also double as an Amazon distribution warehouse?
Of course it would.
In the basement.
Yeah, of course. Right now, right near the airport. Yeah. I'll have the drones just picking stuff up and bringing it everywhere.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, let's take another break. We'll come back and we'll get to the rest of your comments here. We should have time to read everything today. So whatever questions you may have, put them in there. It could be about anything. It could be about Joshua Wostall's UPS store south of Del Mabry. We have some questions on that.
May God have mercy on your soul.
That's awesome.
You're welcome.
We have a question about a possible JP Wostall debate.
Yeah.
Oh, I am up for that. I will definitely invite him on the show for sure, because he did retweet my stuff. So we have triggered him.
Yep.
We have definitely triggered him. So we're on the radar. Oh, fun stuff coming up. Stay with us. Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back with more do you want. The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000. And all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Cost less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. It's Diamond Days at the Golden Diamond Source. Celebrate April's birthstone, which is diamonds, as they take center stage. Up to 20% off the diamond jewelry throughout the month of April. And don't forget, you could trade in your broken or old jewelry towards something new and beautiful. Gold prices are at a record high. Now is the best time. And by the way, they only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source. It's real love. It should be real natural diamonds. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Really, really bad idea. And for the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyers, they are going to teach you all about the 4 C's and all the different shapes and styles. They are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And by the way, you can trust them. They've been in business for over 40 years. Don't buy something online. You have no idea what you're getting. 0% financing for up to 5 years. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at goldendiamond.com. Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing, roofing done right.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, man. It's been a fun week. Get down to the nitty-gritty on this stadium, but that's the other thing, Tim. If this thing doesn't pass, you know what happens? The story continues.
The Orlando Dreamers happens.
The story continues. It was like, for God's sakes, just pass it for that. You stop freaking talking about it, for God's sakes. My Lord. Hey,
The Jacksonville Rays.
Third Generation Plumbing is going to get a lot of work out of this new stadium deal. I can see that coming. John Rodriguez, PJ, all the guys over there, great local company that's been here for generations after generations in the plumbing business. They know what they're doing. AC as well, along with American Standard Heating and Cooling. They are your dynamic duo for your HVAC needs. If you need a new unit, Third Generation Plumbing and American Standard Heating and Cooling will take care of it for you. The best prices, but they stand behind their work. The installation, all that is very, very important. And they'll keep it up for you. The maintenance special is $169 a year. You get 2 visits, and they make sure your unit is in tip-top condition for peak efficiency during this summer when you need your unit working at its peak efficiency. So Third Generation Plumbing, they also do AC, is where you go. Go to the website right there. If you're looking for a job and you're in that business, plumbing, AC, put your resume in. They are looking for good people because they're so damn busy. Because they advertise on the JP Peterson Show. Huh? There you go.
There you go.
All right. What else we got here? Rick is in this morning with some quips. I want to get to that. Said it took 20 years for Stu to come up with that crappy deal in Pinellas. God wiped out the deal with a hurricane. New ownership has a great deal in place in 6 months. May God have mercy on anyone who's against it. That's right. May God have mercy on your soul, Joshua Wilstall.
My God have mercy on your soul.
Alejandro says Hagen even brought up the future events like the BTS concert. What is BTS? Is it K-pop? Is that what that is? I will make Tampa more than the Taylor Swift concert. That's right. Jimmy J. Voyager, good morning to you, said the same guy who's criticizing this deal is the same guy advocating for eliminating property tax, which would also crush the deal and hurt the general fund. He doesn't care about taxpayers. And it's true. I don't know.
JP Ashley has a request. She'd like you to stop saying you're a unit.
What'd she say?
She wants you to stop saying you're a unit.
Why?
On your third generation ad.
Well, your unit must be in tip-top condition for the stressful summer conditions that are coming up, honey.
I tried, Ashley. I tried real hard. Tried.
You should know above all that the unit is very important.
It was last night.
Performing well. I hope all the Peterman units are in working order this summer. See? JS13 gets it. It's called preventative maintenance, honey. You know what? Things breaking down in the middle of a hot summer. That's bad. That's bad.
There's nothing worse than an inoperative unit in the middle of the summer.
Rick says it's obvious Russian interference with the Rays Stadium. Clearly, that's for sure. Baby Rack or Ray says, I believe only 50% can be bonded of the tourist tax. I think Ron wanted to avoid that tax, though. I get what you're saying. So you can't do it all up front. Gotcha. But you could do it as you go. I think if money is available, you can find a way to use it, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's what these negotiations are about. But the other part of it is you got to have chunks of money to get the construction going. And that's where the public funding comes in. It's easier for the public to bond things out and get chunks of money to start construction and then pay for it over time. That's what bonds do. And they do. Yeah. We do this with a lot of different things. So I think the interest rates are lower. There's a lot of positives to it. So, and again, I hate to play this card, but it's true. People say, well, why don't they do it with their own money? You know why? Because they don't have to.
Yeah. Why would
they don't have to? They can go to, and as I said, 10 more cities and get a much better deal than they're asking for here because they'll be trying to attract them. These other cities are like, we want baseball because we know what it can bring and revitalize, and we can build a village just like the Battery. It works so well. Everybody's looking at the Battery going, damn, I want to do that. If you're a public official, that's the dream scenario.
Yeah.
It's a dream scenario to have to use a baseball team, a team. People want to trash these things all the time, but there are communities, stealing teams and wanting to get these things because they know it makes money. It brings velocity of cash. It brings economic growth. It brings so much more. All these ancillary benefits we're talking about, like they're minimal compared when you look at the entire halo effect. It's so much more than we can even claim. You don't want to claim too much because it gets crazy. But these studies are done by intelligent people. And so many people who are not intelligent go, those don't mean anything. All right. Oh, well, your opinion certainly means more than that than these Ivy League educated people in their AI algorithms. What the hell do they know about all these people that study real estate trends and go do all this exhaustive research on things? And what the hell do they know? And me sitting at my keyboard eating my double cheeseburger. Who cares? You're the one we should listen to. Okay.
I'm going to need an AI caricature of your fictitious character you just described.
Yeah. There we go. Jimmy J. Voyager says, I've never been more excited as a Rays fan, and I've never been more optimistic about this deal. Let's get it done. Let's get a forever home, and let's go Rays. Can we have a moment, Timmy? Can we have a moment to dream? Can we? Let's take a moment.
Apparently not.
Do we have any dreaming music that we can do this to? Imagine, if you will. Imagine a world where you get to sit in the comfort of your air-conditioned, 31,000-seat, state-of-the-art baseball park in downtown Tampa, Florida, or in Tampa, Florida. Yes. Imagine, if you will, a Rays team with a payroll of $200 million, competing with the big boys on and off the field. Imagine, if you will, keeping your superstars like Junior Caminero for longer than it takes to say, hey, we signed Evan Longoria to the biggest contract ever. Oops, we traded him a year later. Imagine, if you will, buying a jersey for a person who actually stays here for most of their career, a beloved player. Imagine, if you will, that the Rays are winning World Series and don't have to depend on the welfare from all the other teams like a poor sister. Imagine, if you will, going to a game in the middle of the market and not on the edge of the market. I mean, let's imagine a Hillsborough College, brand new, shiny, and wonderful. Imagine those young students, instead of having to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars or getting in debt for these big schools that could go to at a fraction of the cost, Hillsborough College, get a phenomenal education and an internship with a Major League Baseball team, or perhaps in a hospitality industry job that is being created by this incredible place. Imagine, if you will, actually getting $2.8 billion returned on your tax money instead of it being wasted. By the way, all these people that we need that tax money here, you're assured that whatever we spend it on, it's going to work or really help the community. Have you seen a lot of that? Anyway, I just thought I could dream for a while.
Internets.
Yeah.
Internet dreaming.
Buck's Basement said, did you see Light say he gets Super Bowl vibes from this team? What drugs is he on after last season? Does he forget Bowles is still here and will cost us games? Yeah.
Man, I don't understand that either.
I mean, he has to say that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Super Bowl vibes. You keep saying this is anti-DeSantis Republicans, but the biggest opponent of this deal seems to be Wostall. Well, you're correct about that. Yeah, I think what Wostall is doing, this is beyond partisan politics in terms of him. I mean, I think when I talk about the anti-bias, it's from the media. Like the TBT has always been very anti-DeSantis, right? They were fully in support of Andrew Gillum. That's who they wanted to be governor. How would that have worked out?
Go figure.
The hotel bills would have been disastrous. The South Beach hotel bills, being a lot of extra accoutrement on the bill. Anyway, yeah. So they're obviously very they're left leaning, anti-DeSantis. Anything that has to do with DeSantis, they're going to try and destroy. Plus, they're provincial in terms of wanting the stadium in St. Pete. They had none of these problems with any of the boondoggle that was the St. Pete deal. But certainly this one is just beyond the pale for them. So yeah, I think Wostall, what is his self-interest? I think it's political that you can grandstand against this because obviously there's an underbelly of people that don't support this. I think it's very much the minority, but he's appealing to that and being the quote, the champion of the people in protecting your tax dollars. That's, I get that from a strategy standpoint. How does he stand out on the commission? He's getting lots of play. His name is out there. Everybody knows now. And so for political reason, it's good for him to get that notoriety. I haven't heard him say anything that makes any sense in terms of why this is bad. Everything that he says is easily overcome. His objections are easily overcome. So, until there's something that, and then the grandstanding, saying, may God have mercy on, that is, when you see politicians doing that, that's probably a red flag when you're grandstanding to that level.
It's so theatrical.
Yeah. I mean, what do we, may God have mercy on your soul if you support this. Yeah. SLR says, is there a reason why the Rays want the public money up front while they finance their portion? I believe, but by the way, they are putting money up front, like a large chunk of money up front for the stadium, $1.235 billion. So way more than not way more, but more than the public is. But they're also investing $8 to $10 billion in the entire project. So in a public-private partnership, especially when you build things like this, you need the public as part of it. It helps to have that money up front. And as I said, you can go to any other city and probably get $2 billion or more. So, yeah, first of all, why do they do it? Because they can, and they're bringing a lot to the table, and they can go other places and get more money. But MLB wants it here. They want this market, and they want the deal to get done here. Somebody mentioned MLB could come in. Here it is. Rick said MLB would come in last minute, drop $100 billion on the table, and say, "Get it done." Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that happening. I can absolutely see that happening. That's why when I say the framework is there, the framework is there, absolutely 100%, and the political will is there in terms of all these votes. When it comes right down to it, folks, there's a lot of crap going back and forth, but in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, if they don't pass this and you're one of the votes that said no, and the Rays leave, and and what happens from there? What happens to Hillsborough College? You know what Hillsborough College goes back to being? A dilapidated group of buildings and a huge area that has never been developed into 23 years of the CRA for Drew Park. Nothing happens there. All that what could happen, imagine it. And if this doesn't go through, they're going to have a hard time paying to get their elevators going at Hillsborough College. So the alternative is just ridiculous. Oh, and you get to keep your $1 billion. So what's your government going to do with that money? Are they really going to go fix the potholes? You think that's going to happen?
Buy more fire trucks.
Yeah. Airweed says, do we know how much to build the HC school? I saw the state is putting in $150 million. Yeah. And again, another one of the benefits that nobody's talking about. Like, we're getting a whole new Hillsborough College. And again, most of that property is parking lots, tennis courts, and pickleball courts that bring in no revenue. In fact, it's a drain on the county and city budget. And now you're going to get from the state $150 million to rebuild the entire college. And that means my grandkids, all the kids growing up right now that want to go to college and get a reasonable education, because Hillsborough College is very inexpensive compared to these other places. That's a huge public benefit, even if you don't give a shit about baseball. And that doesn't happen unless this whole deal goes through. Understand. What else we got here, partner? If you see something you want to pop up.
We're getting schooled on not knowing who this BTS thing is. I've never heard of them. I don't even what is K-pop? What is that? Is that a genre?
Korean pop music. Yeah, it's very big.
Korean?
I think it's Korea. K-pop. Isn't that what K-pop is?
So they sing in Korean?
No. Two old white guys talking about.
And they're supposed to be popular here?
Worldwide. They're selling out three nights at Raymond James.
A football stadium?
Yes. Yes. More than Taylor Swift.
What in the world are we doing? Are we sure they're not spies? North Korean spies? Maybe we shouldn't let them in the country.
All right. Let's ask the expert here if we can. Let's expert this. All right. Google AI. Let's see what you got.
BTS boy band.
Who is BTS? And what do they sing? Why should I go to the concert? How much money are they bringing into Tampa Bay?
Are they men or women?
Don't know.
There's 11
BTS Bangtan Sonyeondan.
Whoa.
Is a globally acclaimed 7-member South Korean boy band that has redefined the pop music landscape since their 2013 debut. I'm Casey.
2013?
Their name, which translates into Bulletproof Scouts, reflects their mission to shield younger generations from social stereotypes and prejudice. What do they say? BTS is known for deep introspective lyrics. Well, now, wait a minute.
In Korean.
I don't remember that coming from the Backstreet Boys. Deep introspective lyrics that tackle personal and societal schemes. Self-love and acceptance, a core pillar of their message, seen in songs like Answer Love Myself, which encourages embracing one's flaws, resilience, and social critique. They often comment on pressures of modern society, generational struggles, and the underdog journey. Their 2026 title track, Airang, evokes historical Korean traditions of resistance and hope. Here's now BTS with this week's #1 hit, I'm a Boy Band, Come See Me.
And now for our long distance dedication.
Our long distance dedication comes from Rachel.
Look, I've never heard
Casey,
of this thing.
I've been abused for most of my.
I never thought this would happen to me. I walked into a nail salon and saw the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
I've always liked men, but suddenly I was questioning myself.
Mark! Mark!
Oh my God. All right.
So I guarantee you right now, JP.
Look at these guys, man.
They
These
are
the
no
Backstreet
Boys
Korea.
or New Kids on the Block. All right. They can't hold their jocks. There's no way.
Ashley, weigh in. Who's BTS? Oh, sorry. Wow, now she's talking to me. Well, go ahead.
Talking back to you.
All right. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well, 3 nights. I'm just.
Bunch of 12-year-old girls. Where do they get their money?
Yeah,
JS
what about
13 guy. What about Menudo?
Yeah.
They're probably not as good as Menudo either.
What does she say? Ashley says they also come through on Coldplay, something but like this. It changed BTS. I have no idea what that needs, honey. You need to clean that up.
I think she's speaking Korean.
Yeah, she might be. Yeah. Yeah, well, they're one of the biggest selling music groups in the world.
Referring to their collaboration on the song My Universe. Apparently, that experience was a big turning point for BTS, giving them a fresh burst of energy and inspiration after feeling frustrated by not being able to perform live during the pandemic. It also allowed them to reach a much older demographic that normally listens to Coldplay.
Like me.
They also worked with a famous songwriter named Mac. Here are some of the lyrics that touch on themes of love and unity.
Oh, yes. Love and unity. I'm for that. Yes, please. Touch on those lyrics. Touch me.
Please don't. Please don't. Look, BTS, I got one thing to say to
The
you.
lyrics of My Universe describe a deep, transcendent connection. The chorus says,
Shut up. All right. What else we got?
We spent way too much time on BTS.
Listen, bruh, don't be that guy. 2-day be fit. Look, I'm not hating on BTS. I'm actually I'm interested,
Yeah, I'm not.
But when I got Pesa Pluma coming, I'm not going to BTS. Come on, bro. No. Come on. This guy's actually getting mad at me. I'm joking. I'm an old white guy. I have no idea. I'm sure they're awesome. I'm sure they're fantastic.
No, get mad at me because I'm the one poo-pooing on. I don't get it. That's fine. If y'all like that stuff, that's great.
They don't look like Coldplay. They don't sound like Coldplay, do they? They sing on some of Coldplay's songs.
What?
Oh, something just like this. Oh, okay. Hey. All right. Again, I'm all for it. I mean, fill the stadium.
There ain't no Katy Perry.
Yeah, that's for sure. Airweed says, if Andrew Gillum was our governor, imagine the governor's house would have been filled with hookers and cocaine.
Well, then I would move to Florida.
Well, that's what the TBT was endorsing. They clearly, that was their guy. That was their guy. Let's not forget that. What else we got here? Alex Nunn says Ken Babby should give Rays fans free opening day tickets for 2 decades of hell. Rays fans deserve this. I'm so tired of it personally. Well, of course we are, Alex, but it would be kind of hard to run a business that way, don't you think? Alejandro says the Padres are finalizing an agreement to be sold for $3.9 billion. So I'm happy the Rays were sold for $1.7 billion. Yeah. Yeah. That's that whole deal there in San Diego. That's interesting. That's going to rewrite a lot of the economics that go into baseball and the upcoming CBA. Yeah. And again, it's one of the reasons that this I think this particular, imagine having a real stadium in the middle of the market for the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm not saying we're going to put 40,000 in there every night because we can't. It's only 31,000, but attendance is I think it's going to be dramatically better than the average, 16,000 in 2024, their last time at Tropicana Field, 16,000 plus. Can we get that up to an average of 22, 23? I think we can. That's a significant increase, especially over 81 games. Again, puts revenue back. So that's another thing we haven't been talking about. This whole project puts revenue back into the team. So if you're a Rays fan, You need a new stadium to produce revenue to compete with the big boys. So if you want a good, better baseball team, you should be all for this. And again, your tax money is being invested in given back to the taxpayers, along with all this other economic benefit. All right. Anything else we need to get to here, partner? Chris Cole said the Bucks and Rays should work together to build a super sports complex with 2 stadiums and an entertainment center in between the stadium. That's what they're doing, except they're just not working together. That entertainment center is going to be right between the 2 stadiums, or just north of the baseball stadium, but between both stadiums. So, yeah. And just to wrap this up, is there anything else in here any questions or anything we need to get to? JS813 says the last Bucks draft pick to go to the Pro Bowl is worse. It's been a while. And Jason ate that the other day. He said, I understand, it is what it is. We need to. And here's the other thing. They've talked about we've drafted a lot of starters over the years. And that's great if you're winning games. If you're just drafting starters, that means you're cheap. If you're drafting starters that are winning games, then that's good. And this has been a 500 team under Todd Bowles. And that's, with schedules the way they are, folks, where you're playing 6 divisional games, the majority of your games are against the league. And if your league number is 500, including playoffs over 4 years, that's what you are. You are what your record says you are. You can take the division titles and say whatever the hell you want. That's just a juxtaposition of being in a crappy division. You're a 500 team, and you're fine with that. You keep coaches. You don't go out into free agency and make big splashes. You're fine with being 500. That's what you're doing. I know you're saying a lot, and I love everybody over there. But what you're, as an objective journalist, as we look at this, that's what you spent your offseason at the bargain basement shop. Did you fill some holes? Yeah. They good players? Yeah, they're good. But nothing that's going to jump you from being a 500 team to a Super Bowl contender, in my opinion, from what we've seen so far. You made now the coaching staff, you did rework the offense. That's great. And your offense, you've got better players, and that should carry you well. But your defense is still not good. So,
no, and look at the division you're in. Your competition is a couple of washed up, has been or never was Alabama quarterbacks. I mean, come on. If you can't win the South this year, this thing's way worse off than we thought it was. And how'd you like to be Atlanta, who spent $100 million on Kirk Cousins and then drafted Michael Penix, and now a year later your freaking quarterback is Tua? Poor Atlanta.
But that's, the Bucs want us to evaluate their success by where they are in the division, vis-a-vis better than the Saints and the Panthers and the Falcons. Woo! Man. Yeah. So, and we're barely above them. It's not like we've been dominating the division. We haven't. And you look at you all you had to do was beat the Falcons, the Saints, and the Panthers one time down the stretch, and you couldn't do it to get into the playoffs with a 14-point lead with 9 minutes to go against the Falcons, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't close that deal. Third and 28.
Fourth and 14.
Fourth and 14. And you couldn't do it. And that's why Mike Evans is in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So look, I want to be positive. Last year, could you find a bigger cheerleader for the Bucs than me? Probably not. But I got to look at what we're working with right now, and you have to have a different mindset. But the overwhelming evidence of the Todd Bowles administration is 500. You're 500. And at least by their actions, the Bucs are okay with that. Keeping the coach, no big moves in free agency. Go figure it out in the draft. Let's go. And by the way, I have no idea what our plans are for the future of our stadium. They do. They're planning stuff, but they just haven't made it public or gone to the TSA in any meaningful way. So I just look at what's going on, and I try to draw some conclusions based on my experience and covering this team, and that's what I come up with. All right, Timmy, been a fun week.
Always is.
I see something I'm not even going to go there. Oh, by the way, yes, Alejandro, there was no Big O show today. Apologies. Big O is taking care of some other business, so I apologize. No Big O show. He was on with us yesterday, so I will refer you to our lengthy conversation about the Rays yesterday in the 10:30 to 11 or 10:45 to 11:15 hour
that
of the
big
show.
Brown Cuban.
Yep, that big brown Cuban.
That big brown Cuban.
If you missed the interview yesterday, you missed this.
Jordan Alvarez, that big brown Cuban. Holy cow, man. He is just crushing.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that, are we?
Yeah, we're allowed to say big brown Cuban.
Okay, all right.
I'm a big brown Cuban.
You're allowed to say it. We're not, yeah.
He's a big brown Cuban. Are you kidding me? Put it in italics and put it on Advanced Stream Sports. Loves the big brown Cuban. But listen.
That's what you missed if you missed yesterday.
Hey, there you go. Racist. That we are. Yeah. All right. Listen, guys, have a great weekend. Big thanks to the Mike Allstott Family Foundation. Their big event this weekend. We'll run into a lot of the great folks from the 2002 team, and it's going to be super fun. So looking forward to that. And we will also be at Benchmark International Arena Sunday at 5:45 for game one between
Go Habs!
Les Habitants. And we don't have a bet yet. What's the bet?
We got to figure that. We got to figure that out. I don't know.
All right. It's going to be a case of Molson
Crotch cornhole.
versus a case of Cigar City. Yeah,
Crotch cornhole.
Crotch cornhole. Have a great weekend, everybody.